Choosing the right print-on-demand niche is the difference between starting with the best chance of success or crickets. And by crickets, I mean absolutely zero sales. Not one. Zip. Nada. And if you do find one, it'll be like finding that proverbial needle in a haystack. But what if you could change the odds to your favor? Finding a pincushion full of needles, or rather a niche with a lot of potential sales. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to find niches and how to cross-reference with Facebook to make sure they are targetable, because I see it all the time. People come into this space, into print on demand, expecting that the niche that they had in mind, which was pink goldfish, just isn't targetable on Facebook. So they go down the path of creating designs that never get in front of the right audience. So let's make sure you're not going to do that. When it comes to products like shine-on jewelry, what most people do when they do start coming in is they go super broad. They just go husband, wife, mother to daughter. We need to take one step down and find the niches that get less attention. The problem with staying too broad is that you're competing with absolutely everybody else that comes in and is just getting started. And there's a lot of people. We need to try and find that extra mile where people aren't willing to go. If there's a bit more of a barrier to entry, that means less people are likely to actually get in there. So when we do take that next step down, what we're trying to find are niches that are super passionate. And when you do find those niches, they still have those same relationships within them. So if you're hitting bikers, there's still going to be husbands and wives, mothers, daughters, all that kind of jazz inside. If you want a shortcut trying to think of niches that you can target on Facebook, make sure you download my free gift that I've got in the description below. It's a 1,000 plus niche list ebook. Now, if you followed my advice, you'll never have to test 1,000 niches. So what niches are a great starting place for you? Having a product in mind is always going to help. And if you've been following my channel for any length of time, you know there's two products that I'm always talking about. That's print-on-demand jewelry and print-on-demand metal, or rather made-on-demand metal. And the reason being is they're both much higher in their profit. With extra profit, we make extra money. We can scale harder and faster, as opposed to coffee mugs, t-shirts, and digital planners. Now what are they? The ones that have been buying for years. Bikers, hunters, military, nurses, politics, both left and right, truckers, mechanics. Make sure you check out that ebook because there's a ton in there. And as I said before, inside each of those niches, you have the family, the relationship niches inside. Mother, daughter, daughter, dad, dad, daughter, mother, son, mum, daughter, daughter, grandmother, son, grandmother. There's tons of angles. What you're looking for is that above average passion. Obviously, politics, especially in the USA, is absolutely polarizing. And when it's polarizing, you know people are going to buy. And that goes for both left and right. If you want to see how people can blow up in a massive way, make sure you watch this video wherever it comes up, where I interview Keegan and Corey Rush. They talk about how it absolutely blew apart their print shop. Mind you, I've never seen a political necklace for Democrats or Republicans. It's usually better for t-shirts or tumblers or mugs and all that kind of stuff. Where there's polarization, people are willing to buy. Now, if you live outside the USA, you're not going to be able to target the politics. Facebook, in their infinite wisdom, have stopped everybody from advertising anything to do with politics. Now, the ones that have been buying for years are a great place to start. Each year, each month, these people within the niches are at a different buying cycle, meaning niches are dynamic. Someone may start riding a motorcycle. They might have just bought the first one after saving up for years. Someone's just finished a degree. Someone's just enlisted or become a veteran. Each of these individuals are obviously at different parts of their journey. And that is why, so long as the niche is passionate, there will always be buyers for the amazing products that you're creating for them. Note, I said amazing products that you're creating for them. That right there is the key to unlocking any niche. You need to create products that people want to buy. You need to hit those emotional triggers so they buy from you, someone they've never heard of before, because they just need that product that speaks so personally for them. Oftentimes, the niches that you have in mind when you're first starting aren't the ones that end up getting you the success you're chasing. Now, the niches I shared with you earlier are all targetable within Facebook. But what if you have a different niche in mind? First, you need to make sure that you can get your products in front of an audience. And the way we do that is with Facebook ads. And the reason we choose Facebook ads is because we can react fast. And when we can react fast to sales that are popping off then and there, we stand a really good chance of scaling and making a lot of money. So let's head over to Facebook. Alright, so now we're inside the Facebook Ads Business Manager. That's about as good as it gets for my American accent. When you're in here, you come to campaigns, and we're just going to create a new ad, new campaign. Go with conversions. I always go conversions, but we're just testing to make sure that our interest, the niche that we're going after, is going to be in here. So it's just a test setup. I'll show you how to do the rest of this in another video. But down here, we want to go to locations and make sure that we're targeting where we are running our ads. Everything I teach is predominantly focused on the USA. So as such, I will target the USA in there. The age range, usually it'll be 25 or 35 to 65 plus that I'm targeting. Gender, depending on the product that you're selling, that's what you select. But down here, we'll turn off this detailed targeting expansion because that's just going to screw up our numbers. But in here is where we want to see if our niche actually exists on Facebook. It is imperative that the designs that we're creating, the products that we're testing for a specific niche is targetable. Do you know why that would be? Right, so one of my favorite ones to test is Sphinx Cat. So let's test that. Sphinx Cat, nothing. So therefore, I'm not going to create something for Sphinx Cat when I'm first starting. So if I was to target bikers, again, bikers are one of those funny ones because even though they're known as bikers, most people know they are riding Harley Davidsons. But what if you don't? Then you'd need to go to Google and then start playing around with what are people who ride Harley Davidsons called and start the process there. But if you've got that surface level knowledge, the tier 1 knowledge, which is just knowing that they ride motorcycles, that they're Harley Davidsons, then come straight into here. So detailed targeting, type in Harley Davidson as the main interest because they're the ones that are typically leather clad. It's a bit of a stereotype. But there straight up you can see that we've got 22 million to 26 million people inside. So it's a really healthy sized niche to go after. So if we go narrow, because we're targeting, say, married people, you just type in married and see where that comes down to. Still well and truly in the millions. See what happens when you type in wife. Same deal. Nice and large. What about if we target ferret? There we go. We've got an interest in the millions there. And another way to find out who your actual buyer is to just see how many men compared to how many women are actually in that niche. So only about a quarter of that niche are men. Isn't that interesting? But that's the process you do. So with that ebook that you downloaded, just come in here. From that 1,000 plus niche list, if you want to see if somebody is targetable within Facebook, because they're not all are, Facebook's always removing interest, so you just don't know. So if we went engineer, and see what different ones come up. So even there, these are all different types of niches that you can go after. Tons of them. So once you've got that niche, we need to do a little bit more research just so we can get some other angles to play with. Yes, having one broad category interest is fine. And by broad, I mean just that top level ferret that you typed in. There may not be another interest that you can find. That would be enough just to get started. But I've always gravitated towards the bikers. I love motorcycles, even though I don't have one of my own yet. But what do we do once we have that top level interest? I'm going to type it in, and there we have it. So we want to find more interest within that niche just to hit when we run our ads. So Harley Davidson, see what pops up again. Harley Davidson Sportster, Harley Owners Group, that's a great one. You just go through and group the different types of interest together. You'll have websites, you'll have brands of motorcycles, you'll have pages on Facebook, you'll have styles of motorcycle like chopper and bobber. Those kinds of groups exist in every different niche there is. If you go hunters, you've got deer hunters, fox hunters, boar hunters. Just think about it differently. Military, you've got Navy, Marines, Army, Air Force. Do the exercise of coming in here and just playing out what these extra interests are and group the similar kind of interests together. If you've got any questions about it, make sure you ask below. I'll answer you. I will. More important than anything is just picking a niche and getting started. It is so much more important to actually start this process. Choose one. Don't overthink it. Find your phrase, find your design, or create your design and get started. Build the parachute on the way down. No amount of sitting there spinning your wheels trying to find the perfect niche is going to get those sales coming in. You just have to start. I really hope you enjoyed today's training. If you did, make sure you like below to let me know that you did enjoy it so I can create more content for you that you find helpful in the future. If you've got any questions or comments and you want to share your thoughts, make sure you comment below because I want to see them. I want to hear them. I'm here to help you. I value your opinion. And lastly, if you haven't yet, please subscribe. I put out videos all the time, multiple videos each week. So if you don't subscribe, you may miss out on the future trainings to help you succeed in your own print-on-demand journey. See you in the next one.